while the servant man handled the door shut again. The driver spoke softly to the horses, and the carriage rattled away. "Wait!" I wanted to shout. "Don't leave me here!" But it was too late. The carriage was gone, the door closed, and I was alone in the dark. I heard the grunt and shuffle of the servant lugging my trunk somewhere. "Where should I—"
"The housekeeper will come for you. Soon."
So I waited in the dark, shifting my weight from foot to cold foot, suppressing my irritation at being made to wait like a stranger. "You're only technically family," I reminded myself. "Be grateful that Mr. Markham offered you a roof over your head at all." A dim glow appeared, a bobbing, flickering glow, and as it came closer, it was clear that it was attached to a rather severe figure dressed in black. The telltale ring of keys jangled at her hip. "You must be Miss Leavold." I made a low curtsy and was about to deliver my prepared speech of gratitude, but she was already turning away, shoes clicking sharply on the floor. It was hardly a warm welcome, and I had the brief fantasy of running outside and chasing after the carriage. I could take my chances being a governess. I could survive and keep my independence intact. But the carriage was gone, and my path was set. I took a deep, stealing breath and followed her. The lamp she carried illuminated only the barest glimpses of the house. A grim tapestry here, a frowning portrait there. We climbed the wide staircase. "I'm sorry for the lack of light," she said, not sounding sorry at all. "When Mr. Markham is away, we generally keep early hours. We are not used to having guests so late." "I apologize for my lateness. We set off before dawn, but it was still a long drive." I was keenly aware that I didn't sound sorry. Be grateful, I reminded myself again. Grateful. She unlocked a room and led me inside. No fire had been lit, and from the damp smell, I supposed it hadn't been aired out either. I certainly didn't mind diminished conditions. It appeared to be my lot in life these last 7 years. But one glance at the housekeeper's pinched face told me that this discomfort had been deliberately calculated. Determined to undermine whatever trap she had laid, I declared as cheerfully as I could, "What a lovely room! I am so grateful for your care." She made a noise that indicated nothing other than an acknowledgement that I'd spoken. "Owain brought your things up already. We've long since supped, but if you feel it necessary, you can rouse the cook from her bed to tend to you." I made a demurring sound. She continued, "Breakfast is early here, perhaps around 6:30, although Mr. Markham generally eats later, perhaps around 10. I suppose there might be a chance that you are asked to dine with him." She sniffed, letting me know what she thought of this supposition. "He is away frequently, and I am very busy tending to the house. There are no other residents here, so you will need to occupy yourself, or walk to Stokely if you cannot." She didn't know of the years I'd spent alone in my dead parents' house, with no one except the servants to keep me company, while my brother gambled away the last of our money in London. Years spent roaming the countryside, sitting by the sea, reading all the ancient books in the library. And besides, at 19 I was no longer a child. "I will endeavour to amuse myself," I said. Another sniff. "Well, good night, then." "Good night, Mrs. Brightmore." She left, and by the thin trickle of moonlight, I found matches and a lamp by my bedside, which I lit. But despite the long journey and the protracted weeks of grief and uncertainty since my brother's passing, I couldn't sleep. I didn't care that it was dark as pitch and that the servants were abed. I wanted to see more of this house that I would call home. I shed my cloak and bonnet and left my room, careful to tread as quietly as possible. While I didn't think there would be anything improper about me walking about the house, I felt certain that Mrs. Brightmore would disapprove. My corridor was lined with similar doors, all closed and presumably locked, so I went downstairs with my lamp instead. The yellow pool of lamplight did little to drive back the shadows, but I still made my tentative way into the receiving rooms of the first floor. First to the dining room, dominated by a large table and a massive iron chandelier.